one?
radio.
Which one?
This thing's going to take a picture for us.
All right. Oh, great.
Yeah.
And Brooke, I'm actually texting you by accident, so don't think I'm on.
Okay. Thank you. How's everybody doing?
Wunderbar.
Very good, thank you,
How's
sir.
your sister doing?
Everybody's great. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Oh, very cool.
Very blurry. Always blurry on my phone.
Were you guys surprised with, oh, well, you weren't surprised. Did you have an idea who was coming back?
I knew, yes, I knew about, actually a week or so ago, and then Gilles had sent me a private little tweet to let me know because he was the last one to sign on, so he was signed on like 3 days ago.
He did not send me a private
Really?
tweet,
Well,
Tom.
really? You could have found out. All you have to do is ask.
I was very surprised, and the surprise kept building with each new face that I saw.
I loved your
in the press
expression when
room.
you came in, because I was using you and your reaction to sort of gauge how the viewers might react, and you were lighting up at each.
I'm
new
very
face.
pleased. But even better were the contestants as they looked around the room and were like, oh, wow, oh, no.
Exactly.
Yeah, because to hear that, they're just, oh, yeah, no, there's no real competition I'm worried about, but, you know, there's someone.
Every one of them has said
Yeah,
that.
oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
Come
turning
on.
of the
They're
stomach,
all
though.
lying. They're
And-
all lying.
Yeah, the uniformity of the answer tells you how truthful it is, right? Yeah. No,
Half
I'm
of them are
completely-
champions, and I think everybody will be
Your friends
phenomenal.
And everyone's all after you, not just for the contestants and so, but I mean, they all want to know how it is, and are the judges so-and-so, and all the questions. What's the most asked question that people ask you?
That asked me about the show.
About the show, yeah.
Is Bruno like that in real life?
Oh,
And I'm happy to say no. He's much more sedate. Or sedated, I don't know which.
Who were you most surprised about?
I was surprised to see Pamela back. I'm glad that she's back. I think she has rhythm, and I actually think she can dance and probably went home too soon. But I think she may be the one contestant who went, in comparison to all the others, who was voted off the earliest. But I'm glad she's back, and I think it was a really good get.
Yeah, I agree. That's,
Makes Tom happy.
You know,
Yeah,
it's a
it does.
it's a strange
It does.
milieu of absolute champions and also-rans, and one would think that it would be all champions, you know, or second runner-ups or something.
originally, the discussion was doing all runners-up. And then ultimately, the conversation shifted, I think, both on the network and the show level to turning it into, as Conrad described it earlier, a celebration of the whole show from start to now. And so in doing that, we were then able to open it up to everybody, be they a former champion or someone who came in closer. And I think that makes for more compelling potential storylines, frankly.
I think so
TV.
too, and I'm sorry, but it didn't limit it, so we sort of
Right,
have the best of
right.
the best now, and it's been 14 seasons really to put this collection of great dancers together, and that's how long it took to really put this all-star cast in place.
But I would think that, you know, from a network standpoint, this is about TVQ, and I think they've made some really good
Yeah,
choices
me
here.
too. Me
I
too,
agree.
yeah.
You know, so when you began the show 14 seasons ago, there's, you know, it's a crapshoot. Why do you think it took a foothold? Why do you think it found the audience that it found, and they became so loyal that it grew exponentially?
I'm almost nervous to analyze it too much because you're right, it's like cooking pasta. You throw a program concept against the wall and hope it sticks. I think I can only speak for myself. I was interested in doing it because it harkened back to the type of variety shows I watched growing up. It's live TV, which I personally love. Hosting live TV, I like not having a net. It had a great sense of humor about itself, and I'm speaking of the British version, which is the mothership, Strictly Come Dancing. And it, I thought, could be great family viewing in an era of increasing fragmentation. So, you know, for those reasons, it works for me.
I also think it's a very unique circumstance when you get to see a celebrity step completely out of their comfort
Yes,
zone
yeah,
and put
yeah.
themselves on the line and see them vulnerable. They've either mastered their craft and they're ready by the time the cameras are rolling, or they're in this chaotic reality world. But we never get to see that. And I think that's why we have the element of surprise, and we fall in love with people who maybe we didn't love. We get to
Look
know
at Jerry
people.
Springer. Jerry's, I think more people, including me, who he's been a friend since. When Jerry was first booked, I went, really, Jerry Springer?
Shy,
And
humble,
by a couple,
embarrassed.
well, that's not what I thought we were getting, but that's
Right,
what we
yeah.
were getting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
ultimately, I was thinking of the Jerry Springer on the show where everybody fights and screams at each other, and we get a mensch. We got this sweetheart of a guy who wants to learn the waltz to dance at his daughter's wedding.
And sometimes it's sort of that shock factor and what we never expected, and you start to fall in love with people who you never knew had those qualities.
Right.
So I think that's why America embraces it, and it's feel-good family television.
What do you
Well,
learn
who
the
was the
most
biggest
about?
revelation for you aside from Jerry Springer? Who was the person that came on and you thought, who knew?
Emmett, I think, Emmett Smith, in season 3, was just, I just didn't expect him to not only embrace the concept as full as he did, but be as good as he was, and no doubt will be when he comes on to the All-Star
Two
show.
people come to mind for me. Rob Kardashian, because he was sort of
Yeah,
that little
yeah.
brother who was, in the limelight with this Kardashian clan family, who is now out there standing on his own, uncomfortable in his own skin, becoming this man and becoming quite sexy and lovable by the end of the season. So he was one to root for. And I have to pay Bristol Palin a compliment, because in her season, I thought, this person has the most challenge ahead because she wasn't used to being behind the camera at that time. She never danced before. And so even a lot of these reality stars, they're used to cameras rolling 24/7. So she had a lot to conquer, not only learning how to dance, but learning how to deal with everything that goes along with it. And I think she did that quite well. And I'm so happy that she's back for
Were you
more.
surprised at the sports figures too, that they were so good?
No,
You weren't?
because they're used to being coached. They're used to how their bodies move in space. They're less apt to get their back up if somebody tells them you're doing it wrong. Here's how to do it. So I think a lot of the sort of discipline that they bring to being excellent in their respective sports served them well doing a celebrity ballroom show, oddly.
And I think one of the most important parts of the show is learning how to think like an athlete and how to
Yeah.
train like an athlete. I was not an athlete. That was my biggest struggle. Halfway through, I wanted out. It's like, oh my God, I can't go any further. But the athletes know how to deal with that. So I think this season will be very unique because everybody knows what they're getting themselves into and everybody knows how to do it. So I don't think the athletes have an advantage for the first time this season. That's my theory.
Is there a realistic
Ever think
get?
about saying, hey, find somebody else to co-host, I want to be on this season?
No, because I love hosting.
And I have abandonment issues.
And
so
I'm not
I
leaving
didn't
Tom.
want her-
But I will admit, though, it is infectious. And being on the show, I miss dancing, and I would love to dance again somehow, somewhere. I would not want to compete against this cast, and I would not give up my hosting role. But it's very tempting.
Is there a realistic get that has been on the fence over the years that you've tried to get onto the show and maybe has come close but hasn't said yes? And
I don't know how close because I'm not part of the negotiations. My go-to answer, and I'm serious about this because I know he and his wife love the show and I would love to see him do it, but I think the 2 conversations I've had with him, he said he wouldn't, is Shatner. I'd love to see Shatner on the show. I really, because he's like 81 going on 22, and
You never know.
that's true, that's
He
true.
said he'd never.
Tom, because AFV is going into its 11,000th season
Yes, it
this year.
is, yes.
Uh,
It started as a cave drawing, actually.
When you see, and I mean, it's running on like
Yeah.
4 things
I know,
simultaneously, all seasons. When you look back at that thing and you see yourself progressively
12 years ago, yeah.
progressively age,
Brown hair.
what comes to mind? I mean, do you remember the specifics?
No,
Or,
oh God, no. No, I barely remember what I had this morning for breakfast. But no, they did a 12-hour marathon on the 4th of July as an example. But no, I don't remember. Somebody tweeted me a photo of me on an AFV show, and I was wearing, I must have been doing some bit where I had like red shorts on or something. I had no memory of that, none at all. I mean, it
That's
could
one
well
to
have been
forget.
photoshopped with somebody else, but no, and that's part of the, I think you do shows, and it's sort of like studying for an exam. You cram for it, and you do it, and then it's gone. You just don't remember. I don't remember who wins or anything when I watch the show.
What do you both noticed about the voting audience over the years? Has anything changed? Anything different?
About the voting?
Yeah, when people call in and everything?
Oh, I don't know. Again, that's an element of the show. At least for me, I'm not party to the
Well,
tallying of votes.
well, the
and things.
feedback we get, they're still complaining, especially the ones that don't vote. No, I think it's actually, no, I think it's a different time now with social media. So I think it's very unique. Season 7, when I competed, I didn't have access through social media directly to my fans. So I think this is going to be very interesting to see what kind of a loyal fan base each celebrity brings and how much they respond to them reaching out, not only tune in right now because I'm on, but I need your support and please vote for me.
How
So
proactive they are starting now,
how
actually.
proactive they are, and
Yeah.
just the abilities that we have now through Twitter, through Facebook, through video, through Instagram, through everything to actually share parts of the dancing experience that our Dancing with the Stars cameras don't capture and really bring in their own particular audiences. So I think social media is going to be a big factor, and if people are savvy, which, you know, at this day, it's even 5 years ago.
Right.
I wasn't on Twitter.
If
And
I
with
could
that,
just
that
follow
means-
up on
and with
Howard's
that, let me just
question.
follow with this.
What?
And with that, that means Bristol might have a slight advantage with.
You know, you never know.
Tweet now, tweet off.
That's
Just
what-
to quickly follow up on Howard's question, it must be amusing to you that you were YouTube before there was YouTube.
Yes, yeah, and that it's still going. I mean, a lot of people would have predicted the death knell of a show like that, given YouTube, but it's still chugging along. We call it, at my house, we call it the annuity. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.